So, one of the keys for healing is your mindset. And the thing here is you have to eventually get to a place where the ratio of positive thoughts outnumber the negative thoughts in your mind. And so, how you do that is, you have to start to change your perspective about those negative thoughts that go through your head, because when you change your perspective on certain things that are negative, you automatically start to convert those into positive. And when I say you want a ratio of more positive thoughts than negative, it's because, we're not perfect. We're not always going to be just happy-go-lucky and in this state of happiness. We're not always going to feel our best or think the best. But what's important is if you have a greater number of positive thoughts in your mind than negative, then eventually those negative thoughts are going to die off. They're going to quiet itself because you're filled with a lot of positive things. One of the ways that helped me to get a lot of those negative things out of my mind is for every negative thought that I thought or observed in my head, I would think of 2 or 3 good positive thoughts so that way it can outnumber. And you have to constantly do this. Create a pattern of doing this then once you create a pattern and continue to do it, then it becomes a habit and then it becomes on autopilot. Another thing I did was read certain books. There was this one book I read about the subconscious mind, and one of the activities that I had to do, or one of the suggestions was whenever you are experiencing a negative thought that you don't want in your mind, you simply say cancel immediately after. So, if there's a thought in your mind that's discouraging you, or it's, making you depressed, or it's making you feel not confident, you hurry up and say cancel. Every time you think that or feel that, cancel. That's what you say in your head. You can say it out loud, or you could just say it in your head right after that thought. And eventually, over time, you are going to kill off that thought altogether. And how you can change let me give you a few examples of how you would change your perspective on negative thoughts. So I don't know what book I read, but this helped me change my perspective on how I see things. And it opened my eyes to seeing it from a higher perspective. So there was this example of this girl who she moved around so much in her childhood. And this was just like me. We moved around a lot too, to where literally I was in 3 different middle schools. 6th grade, I was in one, 7th grade, another, and in 8th grade, I was in another one. So it was we moved around so much that I was not able to really maintain friendships. I was always meeting new people, and I was never able to commit to people and have these long-term connections, because as soon as you get, comfortable or get close, you're uprooted and now you're somewhere else. And this was a similar thought pattern to this girl in the book that I was reading. And she was really thinking negative about her life. Oh my gosh, I don't have, really any friends. I don't even have a best friend because I moved around so much. So I never really got to know people, and it's just bad, and I was feeling the same way. Dang, this is how I feel. I don't have no best friend. I moved around so much, so I never really learned how to have long-term connections and really commit to people and really open myself up and just be around people. Like, and this was something in my life that I was really sad and disturbed about. But in the book, this is how she helped change her perspective, because the author of the book was saying, this is okay, so you need to change your perspective on that and look at it from a higher perspective. So the higher perspective is, hey, instead of being a victim of your circumstances, this is how you become the victor. And she rewrote her past, her history, by saying, you know what? I am grateful that I moved around a lot, because I was able to experience different types of people, and I was able to diversify my connections. And because I moved around so much, I was able to meet different types of people and experience different types of cultures. And now I'm well versed in people because of that. And that just like blew my mind, like, whoa, that is so true. Like, I literally, because I moved around so much, I got to experience different energy and different types of people and different types of culture, and experience a multitude of connections. And that's made me more well versed in people, because it's not like I've only been around one type of people or one type of mindset. It opened me up to different perspectives and new ways of living and new ways of doing things, because I moved around so much, and I got to, meet all types of people. So look how you were able to spin that negative into a positive. Another example of mine was like, I didn't really have a lot of emotional support as a child. I was not able to express myself, and I wasn't able to receive the support that I needed. But because of that, it pushed me and propelled me to become emotionally dependent. I mean, emotionally independent. So I'm not dependent upon someone else. I don't have these codependent issues. Well, I used to, but as I went through the healing process, I was able to learn how to become emotionally independent, where I'm not relying on the emotions of other people. I'm not relying on the support of other people. I can learn how to support myself independently. And this also, because of my lack of emotional support from my parents, this also pushed me to have a connection with God. And because of that, I now have a stronger connection with Him. And my life is more fulfilling and more meaningful because of that. So I'm actually thankful and grateful for that. So see how you can spin that just by looking at it from a higher perspective. And this is how you convert those negative thoughts in your mind into positive. And this will create a higher ratio of positive thoughts to keep your energy and keep you at a higher vibration.